Hello everyone, welcome in. I hope you're having a great day. I do have a little bit of an outfit change from the thumbnail. I was expecting to already have this video done. I went and reviewed it and I was kind of not pleased with it. And I'm like, even with a small channel, I'm like, I want to do things to the best of my ability. I really do like Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal, and everything I put out there on the internet I wanted to represent. So first of all, big thank you to B or something, who made this little VR thingamajig. He did one for NU as well. I wanted to give my thoughts. There are 24 Pokemon that are PU officially on Smogon. 24. Those are the 24 I'm going to talk about today. There are, I believe, 13 of them are from Kanto, and 11 are from Johto. These Pokemon down here, the ZU, ZUBL, all Pokemon that are fine. You can definitely use them. I use Charmeleon and Wartortle all the time. I use Coughing a lot. Saw a lot of Epon, Beedrill, Geodude. Sure, you can use these Pokemon, but they're not officially PU. And then these Pokemon here on the bottom, I kind of just put no real use. I'm not sure if you can see it there. I saw a couple of them, but they're not really good. So I'm not really going to talk about them, but I am going to talk about these 24 Pokemon. I made S, A, B, C, D, F tier. Makes sense. And then I'm going to just kind of throw them in there, and we'll kind of go from there. I've seen other people do this. I don't want to go from S to F, though. I'd rather go backwards. It's more pleasing for me. Gives more of a big reveal. So we'll have to be careful not to talk too much about individual Pokemon at the beginning. So, number 24, the Pokemon that I feared never really, even though I did lose to it once, that'd be Clefairy. Clefairy is, I guess, a knockoff Porygon, Thunderwave, Moonlight, trying to use Curse and Return or Double Edge. Was never really afraid of it. It's a worse Noctowl, and it gets Moonlight instead of Rest and Sleep Talk, and it can paralyze things, but I didn't fear Clefairy in the least, and whenever I saw someone had a Clefairy, I was kind of like, sweet. Not a free win by any means, but, a more manageable game. This one saddens me at 23. I put Ponyta also in the F tier. Only 2 Pokemon in the F tier. Ponyta is too frail. Defenses are not there. It's a Fire-type Pokemon. You've got Seadra, who's a constant problem. You've got Seaking, who could run water moves. Magcargo, double resist that Fire Blast. Rhyhorn, obviously. Now, Rhyhorn's going to get blasted by Hidden Power Grass, but I don't know. I didn't find Ponyta to be very useful. I use Charmeleon and Quilava a lot. They are slightly better on the HP and I believe the defense side. They have a much higher special attack as well, but they sacrifice attack and speed. But I feel like in this metagame, Charmeleon and Quilava's stats worked out better. Now remember, Charmeleon and Quilava are the same exact Pokemon, so stat-wise. At 22, I put Machoke in the D tier. Machoke is like, whatever, Curse, Cross Chop, Rest Sleep Talk. I guess you can run Rock Slide, Earthquake. Venomoth is everywhere, folks. And Golbat can resist it. Gastly kind of laughs, so you don't have Earthquake. Because Hitmontop's in the tier, I think that to try to get all these on the screen. Because Hitmontop is in the tier, it makes Machoke not as good. I love Machamp. Machamp's one of my favorites, but Machoke I didn't really fear him, and I had a hard time building with him. At 21, I put Ariados. Baton Pass Shenanigans. I mean, you can make an argument that Ariados is 24 and is the worst Pokemon. It certainly probably has the worst stats. However, it can carry Giga Drain, it can carry Hidden Power Water, it can carry Psychic. All those things can make it a pain for the phasers. If it carries Giga Drain, sorry Rhyhorn. If it carries Psychic, sorry Coughing. If it carries well, I guess it has Sludge Bomb too for Murkrow, but Murkrow can usually... Murkrow's a good phaser against it, but not everyone's packing a Murkrow. But so Ariados has potential. If it passes to a Cubone, by the way, GG's. You just lost. Going up to the, excuse me, I have one more in the D tier at number 20. I put Tangela. Tangela. What a great special attack and a great defense stat, but man, Game Freak really did hate them. Smogon says it right. That special defense stat is trash. It is just one shot by every fire stab move. From Charmeleon, Ponyta, Quilava, Magcargo. But it does have Sleep Powder, so it has that over Sunflora, but in general, I don't think Tangela is very good. I faced Tangela, I think, 14 times. Beat it 13 out of 14. Also, just a disclaimer, I like to play 100 matches whenever these tiers are on the ladder, like the Ruins of Alph ladder, the monthly ladders. I like to play 100 matches every time a Gen 2 one shows up, or more if I like the tier. This one I didn't particularly like, so I played 100. I won 50, I lost 50. Average Johto Joe. That's the perfect name for me. But anywho, that's Tangela's. I destroyed it, crushed it. But has Sleep Powder. That's cool. At 19, we're going up to the C tier now. We're going Abra. Now, Abra's interesting. Abra's not common at all, but when Abra does make an appearance, if they have spikes down, or you have spikes down, Abra can do a lot of damage. Very fast, great special attack, Psychic, Ice Punch, Fire Punch. Now, I will say that people are using Thunder Wave. That's all fine and dandy and stuff, but better to use Drowzee in that spot maybe to spread paralysis. But Abra is Abra's so fast, but a very much a glass cannon, and I gotta put it at the end of C because of that. At number 18, I put the bird, Noctowl. Noctowl usually running Curse, Return, Rest, Sleep, Talk. Sometimes you get clever and put Hypnosis and Reflect on it, but that's pretty much... Noctowl is what it is. It is a better Clefairy in my opinion. It's got more bulk. But unfortunately, Noctowl is just not interesting, which is sad, because when I had the game as a kid, I had Noctowl as like my flyer everywhere, and my Noctowl would have max happiness in Pokemon Stadium 2 and all that, but Noctowl just simply isn't... Just a very boring Pokemon, unfortunately. I hate to say it. But I do have an 18 out of 24. 17, I put Corsola. I actually like Noctowl more than Corsola personally, but Corsola has Recover, Ancient Power, it can use Rock Slide, it's got Surf, it besides Grass, which it gets annihilated by, so Tangela, Sunflora, Ivysaur, Bayleaf, it gets annihilated by Grass moves. However, it resists Normal. It is weak to Ground, neutral to Water, resists Ice, weak to Electric, so I mean, it's a mixed bag, but I think Corsola's actually doesn't have the worst typing. I mean, it's the same typing as Kabutops and Omastar, and they're pretty bad in UU, but I feel like UU might be a little bit different environment. I don't know. Weak to Electric, maybe that does make it pretty terrible. But anyways, Corsola at 17. Golbat at 16. Golbat is the ultimate troll, I think, in this tier. Confuse, Ray, Toxic, Protect. Golbat can really cause some havoc out there. But for the most part, you can get Golbat under control. What I did with Rhyhorn when I would face Golbat is I'd use Rest instead of like Roar, and then it's like, yeah, go and Toxic me and let me get all these courses up for free, and then that caused a huge problem. Now also Golbat can Haze, which is pretty big. It can be like a last stop to someone getting out of control. Hey, at 15 I put Sunflora. I think Sunflora is much better than Tangela for sure. And the Bayleaf and Ivysaur and Weepinbell are not even PU officially. I would rather use them, but Sunflora has a great special attack, has growth. Very slow though, just slow as can be. So if you give some paralysis support, like if you really spread paralysis all through their team, Sunflora can really maybe make some life happen. Your hidden power is going to be your biggest problem. You can't really run Fire, Ice, and Psychic. I notice a lot of people use Hidden Power Psychic, which is great because of Venomoth and Hitmontop. Just gives you a little extra bonus. For me, it ended up hurting because I have Coughing on the team, but Sunflora gets Synthesis too, so it has a healing move. So does Tangela though. But I would think Sunflora's pretty middle of the pack, leaning towards the worst end at 15. At 14, the final Pokemon in the C tier, I put Magcargo. I think Magcargo has some good traits about it, but it's double weak to Water, and a lot of people run Hidden Power Water to ambush, because you can get Rhyhorn too, and so it's not a bad move to carry. Double weak to Ground. Doesn't have Earthquake. You have to use Hidden Power Ground. I guess you could go Curse Rock Slide. You can go Rock Slide, Fire Blast, Sleep Talk. But I don't know. Like, Magcargo can ruin your day, but at the same time, I think that he was rather under control. And I remember in days past, like, Magcargo was really good. But with everyone sleep talking now, I think that it kind of hurts Magcargo a little bit. At number 13, we're moving up to the B tier. I put Drowzee. Now, I have a little special... I like Drowzee and Hypno a little more than I should, probably. I like their utility. Thunder Wave, Reflect, Light Screens, substitute, Rest, Psychic, Seismic Toss. I guess you can throw Substitute in if you want, but no real need. I just think that... I think Drowzee's great. He's a lot of fun to play. He can spread paralysis, but he's got a big problem, and that problem's coming in at number 9 in the next tier, but it's Murkrow. Murkrow absolutely just annihilates it. If you don't care, he's Thunder Wave or Seismic Toss, you are done. And then with Thunder Wave, you might just get the paralysis off. That's fine, you're still going to die, though. And then Drowzee serves no more defensive purpose than it could. Number 12. 12's an interesting one. I have Sneseal. I know there are people that are high on Sneseal for sure. I adore Sneasel. Sneasel is one of my favorite Pokemon. However, I almost like Sneasel better in NU than PU because of what Sneasel can do to Xatu in NU. But there is no real psychic presence. Abra is not very common. Drowzee's not very common. And so it's kind of like Sneasel, I didn't find a way to use it well. Yet at the same time, when other people used it, I sometimes really struggled with it. So... that being said, I just have Sneasel up at number 12. I do love Sneasel as a Pokemon. Love the Dark Ice. Great attack. Super fast. Just unfortunate that it just doesn't... I don't know. I couldn't get it to jive, but still in the B tier. Number 11, I put Rhyhorn. I think Rhyhorn's a little bit more straightforward. Curse, Rock Slide, Earthquake. In your fourth move, you can go Roar or Rest. Roar, you could be a Phaser. Rest, you could deal with Golbat's stupidity. Obviously, you're not going to stay in against Sunflora or Tangela. You're not going to stay in against Seadra. You know, you're switching out against those Pokemon, but, like, Rhyhorn can come in. If Venomoth does not have Giga Drain, then it's, like, cool. You can sit on a little bit. Obviously, Rhyhorn doesn't want to go toe-to-toe with Hitmontop by any means. But, yeah, I just like Rhyhorn a lot. Kind of just runs that Rhydon set from OU. And, I don't know, I think Rhyhorn does better probably in PU than Rhydon does in OU, but that's just me. That's Rhyhorn at number 11. Number 10, we're getting serious, folks. All these Pokemon now, I'm saying you can build with them, you can win with them. Number 10, I put the Sheep, Flaaffy. Let's get Flaaffy in the right spot here. Double Electric is great. Flaaffy and Elekid can form quite a team. Flaaffy is against Thunder, Psychic, Rest Talk, Elekid. Flaaffy can sit on that Elekid for you and really put you in a good spot. Flaaffy also has a devastating Thunder, him or herself. Hidden Power Ice, you can go Hidden Power Water. If you're Hidden Power Water, watch out for grasses. Thunder spreads paralysis. You could go Thunder Wave and like Light Screen maybe and some other utility stuff, but I don't know. I don't love electric Pokemon that do that kind of stuff. I like it better when they're just Rest Talkers, because Thunder has a 30% chance to paralyze. Chinchou has the same thing in NU, where it can be used as a kind of like as a setup. But I don't know. Things never seem to go right for me when I try to do too much setup and I try to be cute too much. If I just fall back on a defensive core, then, and that's how I treat Flaaffy, then things just go a lot better. Moving up to the A tier, number 9, already mentioned it, the Crow, Murkrow, great pursuit, awesome drill peck, does massive damage to, like, I don't know, if someone's running Charmeleon or Colava, it does, you know, it can haze, has hidden power. I didn't really run Hidden Power Dark. I would just run Hidden Power Water and ambush Rhyhorn or Magcargo when the time is right. You can't quite one-hit KO it, but if you get it close to under 80 or 70%, you can get them. And then I just found that ambushing is a wonderful tactic. And this is what kind of makes PU tough. I'll probably talk about it a little bit at the end, but what made PU hard was figuring out movesets. This tier is undergoing change, and I'm happy for it. I like seeing any Gen 2 action, but I will say that, like, it's hard to figure out the moveset sometimes. Number 8, I put Delibird at 8. Some people might put it higher. Spikes is great, but the problem with Delibird is you're going to run 5 on 6. However, if you do this, if you can play Delibird right, you can somehow get Spikes down, you can get a Thief off, you might even get an Ice Beam. That's great quality and utility. I just adore Delibird. I think Delibird's very swag. I know Delibird is weak as all heck, but I just think that Delibird is just such a cool Pokemon. And I put it at number 8 happily because it has Spikes. Never run Rapid Spin because then you can't have Spikes, so forget it, just Spikes. I would run it as a lead a lot. Not really worth sacking in my opinion if Cubone or Elekid are out there. Well, especially Elekid, but if Cubone's out there, no need to take a Rock Slide. A lot of Cubones run Body Slam though, so you can really gamble. Spikes, Ice Beam, it can go really well for you. Speaking of Cubone, I got Cubone at number 7. Cubone is just an instant threat. Body Slam, Earthquake, Rest, Sleep Talk. Does a lot of damage. It's hard to... I don't think anyone resists that combo. You know, maybe Tangela can handle that better than anyone, but you could also set up with Cubone, but I saw so many Sleep Talks. You could do Earthquake, Rock Slide as well, but again, Tangela would stop you. But Tangela, you know, Tangela's... I think a lot of people would say Tangela's in that C or D range, but I thought Cubone... I would have Cubone at 7. I think Cubone is just an amazing Pokemon. I had a hard time using Cubone, and facing Cubone, though, I was like, man, I have to really make sure that I'm being as safe as humanly possible. At number 6, Gastly. Perhaps this is my hottest take. If people take Gastly and put Gastly like below Flaaffy, Rhyhorn, I wouldn't be surprised, and I probably wouldn't disagree, but what I found with Gastly is such a glass cannon, but that 258 speed is better than you think, and the move pool is excellent. You got Psychic, you got Thunderbolt, you got Explosion, Hidden Power Water, Giga Drain, Hypnosis, Parasong. I saw Parasong Gastly. It's crazy. It's in one of my matches. Like, I don't know. I think Gastly's great. Maybe 6 is a little high, but I just felt that Gastly did a really good job of performing the way it did. Number 5, I put Seaking. With Furret gone, Seaking is taken over as the Swords Dance Rest Talk user. Not that Furret got Swords Dance, but basically 90% of the Seakings I saw didn't even have Surf on it. So it has Swords Dance, Rest, Sleep Talk, and Return. It's like, great, I'm just sending Rhyhorn and Onyx against you to roar you out, or with Rhyhorn, just curse up. And even Coughing for a time can handle it, but again, it's kind of gets more dangerous because Seaking's a Swords Dancer. But it's like, Seaking has to be number 5. You gotta respect Seaking because it can just sit there and it never like leads. That's it. Seaking is not dynamic. In fact, I made this argument that Noctowl is the most boring Pokemon. Seaking may be the most boring Pokemon in this tier. Like, it's a fish. It's a stupid fish, but it did amazing. Caused me a lot of hell. Moving up, we got the A tier. These are the cream of the crop. We got them down here. Basically, I don't think anyone's going to argue. These 4 are in the thumbnail. No one's going to argue that these 4 are probably top 4, but maybe just how you put them. I put Seadra at 4, and when I made the video last time, I actually had Seadra in A above Seaking, but I just realized Seadra is just too much coverage. Now, if Seaking has Surf, Ice Beam, Rest Talk, then Wartortle can kind of sit on it, or another water. But if Seadra has Surf, Hidden Power, then a Grass can sit on it. So if Seadra runs Rest and Sleep Talk, there is going to be a wall somewhere, but you have to find out that information. If Seadra has 3 moves and is trying to fake you out as like it's a Rest Talk user, you're in trouble. Because it can sweep through your whole team before you know it. It can run Agility itself, but at 268 speed, might not even need Agility. It definitely doesn't like Elekid by any means. Murkrow can go down to Ice Beam or whatnot. But anyways, I thought Seadra at 4. I really struggled against Seadra, actually. I think I faced Seadra, maybe 33 times or so, or 39, and I was like 15 and 24 against it. Like, I didn't do very well against Seadra. I was surprised to see Seadra less than half the time. I only saw it in 39 or 33 out of 100 matches, but that's a pretty good play rate, I would say. I was expecting like 65, but perhaps no. Besides Snorlax and OU, 65 is just not really a thing. But yeah, I have Seadra at 4. Now, here's where things get kind of tricky for me. I went Elekid at number 3 because I think that it's a little bit easier to get around Elekid, especially if it's just running Thunder and Psychic. It's a little bit easier to kind of get around Elekid. And Elekid's got that great move pool and everything, but these bottom 2 Pokemon, they are just, you're going to see here soon. Team building has to be done for them. For Elekid, you could almost just run a Flaaffy and you could semi get away with it. Even maybe a Drowzee, if you're lucky if they don't have Murkrow. But don't get me wrong, Elekid's a great Pokemon. I have it number 3 for a reason. I have another series on Saturdays where I'm like going through the game with Elekid, Smoochum, and Magby. And so I definitely love Elekid. There's no shortage of love there. But I have it number 3. Number 2, Hitmontop. And the reason I have it at 2 above Elekid is because I built every single team with a Hitmontop counter, even if I didn't put a Venomoth counter on the team. I put a Hitmontop counter every time. Coughing and Ivysaur were my 2 favorite, but I tried Drowzee. I think I tried Gastly. Gastly's a great one. That's another reason why Gastly can be 6. If Hitmontop is a mono set, high jump kick, curse, rest, sleep talk, Gastly completely walls it. Delicious. But anyways, I feared Hitmontop more than Venomoth, actually, and built for it. But Venomoth is clearly the champion. I have a feeling that people are going to agree with me on that because it has Sleep Powder, Stun Spore, Psychic, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Baton Pass, Curse, Fast. It's a fast Pokemon. Now, if it's cursing, it's going to get slowed up. But if it's cursing, it's Baton Passing. So it's not going to be cursing forever. And in general, like, it just comes in, it hits hard. And so I ran a team with like Charmeleon, Wartortle, and Ivysaur on it, and especially the first 2, they use Rest, Sleep, and Sleep Talk. If Venomoth uses Sleep Powder against me, that Venomoth is in complete control of the match, because I may not pull Rest with Sleep Talk. And then if Charmeleon keeps pulling Double Edge instead of Fire Blast, Venomoth's going to beat me. And what's the best counter for Venomoth? Well, if it doesn't have Giga Drain, you can make the argument that Rhyhorn and Magcargo are, well, I guess Magcargo doesn't really fear Giga Drain, but if Venomoth has Hidden Power Water, then, you know, you've got some other problems down your sleeve too. But, like, I found that basically with Venomoth, you got to pick a Pokemon to fall asleep, and then, like, so I would usually get Turtle slept, and then I'd switch to Charmeleon and kind of be in control with the Fire Blast and Double Edges and stuff. But, yeah, I just think Venomoth was an incredible Pokemon, faced it a ton, but I feel like I did better against Venomoth than I did against Seadra. I did better against Hitmontop than I did against Seadra. But yeah, I don't know. I really, I just really was just really impressed. So here you go. Here are the final rankings. You got the S tier, A, B, C, D, F. Leave me a comment. Tell me if I'm really stupid here. Like I said, I play every tier. I try to play every tier when it's on Runes of Alph. This was the worst I've done ever in a month. 50 and 50. That was just horrendous. At one point, I was like 40 wins and 49 losses. But thankfully, like, I had a Murkrow, Elekid, Flaaffy team that just went 10 and 11, or 10 and 1 to end it for me, to get me to 50-50. But I was tracking to be like 42 and 58. And I know, like, the records aren't... I like to use record. I mean, obviously, ELO is a big deal too, but I certainly did way better at this tier. I mean, I did way better at ZU than I did PU. Heck, I'm probably even a better OU player, and I don't even like use Snorlax. And without Snorlax, I probably do better in OU than I did in PU using, everyone. But what made PU hard for me was movesets were crazy, you couldn't figure out, and you just couldn't queue up a game. These were the worst wait times ever. Even OU and randoms doesn't have this bad of a wait time. You would just sit there and it'd be like a 45-minute queue up, and you'd have to go do something else. But that just made it that doesn't make it fun when you're already doing something you don't really love to do, and now you're waiting these huge wait times. And I think that's something that's kind of pushing people away from Gen 2. It's really a shame, because I think Gen 2 has some good qualities to it. It just has such a bad reputation. But I like Gen 2 a lot. That's all I can say. I'm hoping that today, maybe just my attitude and personality, I can get you to play a Gen 2 game sometime. Whether it be OU randoms, UU, as you're watching this video right now, this schedule come out in May. the UU will be on there, Gen 2 UU. Now, Gen 2 UU, I haven't played in a long time, not since Muck and Aerodactyl have entered the fray, so that's going to be very interesting. But I will say UU is a bit more stally. To PU's credit, I think I had 3 games out of 100 go over 100 turns. 3 out of 100 games went over 100 turns. It's a very fast game. It's much faster than OU or UUBL or UUR. So, anyways, thank you guys so much. If you got value from this, hit subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends if you got some GSC buddies that play. I know the joke is there's only like 10 of you out there, but I hope those 10 players find this. I like GSC, and I want us to bring in more people. I want to kind of advocate for that, but we'll have to see what happens in the future. But anyways, God bless. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care.